It remains a mystery why sometimes some Middle Eastern fragrance releases are so good, but nobody talks about them. And I have 3 in my collection that I've been loving lately that I don't see enough people talking about, but I'm going to share them with you guys today. Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Aleisha Budget Beauty. My name is Aleisha. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews. Nobody talks about these fragrance enough videos, all sorts of fun stuff. I don't know what that was. So if that sounds good to you, please stick around, be a friend. I completely messed up my intro and I don't even care. That's just kind of how I do things on my channel. So, all right, you guys, I have been loving these 3 Middle Eastern fragrances. And it's just so funny how before some even launch, and maybe it is all the marketing behind it, you see people going crazy over fragrances. It's not just Middle Eastern. I definitely see it with brands like KLE, where I will sometimes hear, this is going to be the best fragrance of the year before people even get their nose on it. And there's all this hype, all this talk. And then sometimes there's these releases that for whatever reason, the brand maybe is not pushing it or not the right people get it in their hands to talk about, and it just flies under the radar and they kind of get forgotten about, and they're really, really good. And those are the 3 that I have right here. So those 3 today are Habik by Lattafa, and this is a 2025 release. I think it's only been out for a couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it is a little bit longer and I'm not sure, but I think it's 2025. Then we have Victoria Flower Rosa Lilium by Maison Alhambra. Real quick, full credit. Someone was talking about this. My friend Jamie, not another perfume channel. Please go follow her and watch her if you are not. But she was raving about this and she's the only one I saw talking about it. So I picked it up and very, very happy I did. And then the next one here is a Khadlaj. This is Nafais Sharq. And they did send this one over to me. These 2 I purchased myself. This one was sent to me in PR. And I think it's really, really good. So, all right, let's go ahead, I guess, and start with Habik. Bottle, so pretty. I love this bottle. I threw away the box, but the box was basically just like the bottle here, except the purple was velvety. So if you are a box keeper, it was really just kind of a thinner cardboard with the velvet, but it was pretty. But the actual bottle, oh my goodness, I just think it's so gorgeous. The detail, you know, you guys, I was telling a friend the other day, it's so hard for me still to wrap my mind around how fragrance houses are going up so much in prices, niche fragrance houses, even some indie, and they say they have to when their bottles are really, really plain. And then we get these stunning ornate bottles from Lattafa and they're under $40. It's just, I can't quite grasp. But anyway, this is such a beauty. I really, really enjoy this fragrance. I think it's very feminine. I think this one is a really nice daytime, maybe even an evening fragrance. I don't necessarily call this like a sexy fragrance or like a date night fragrance, but I think it would work well in the evening as well. Kind of a year-round fragrance too. Probably does thrive best in spring and summer because it is a floral with some fruits at the top. So you do have pear and bergamot in here. And then you have, I believe, Lily of the Valley, jasmine, and freesia. And then I think in the base here you have amber and musk. I may be missing another note in here. But I didn't even realize, I saw this, I think it was on Walmart online one day and just saw it and was like, that is the prettiest bottle. I haven't heard anyone talk about that. I'm just going to grab it. So after I got it in and tried it and liked it, I started looking up some and people were saying that it is a dupe of Versace Dylan Purple. So I've several of these samples. They come a lot of times with Sephora or Ulta. And this one went on discount pretty quickly after it released. And I know a lot of people did not really like this fragrance. I liked it, but I thought something was missing from it. I expected Dylan Purple to be like a violet fragrance. I thought it was going to be a candied violet. Yes, the bottle, I mean, the packaging was tricking my brain and my nose, but there's no violet in here. They're not even the exact same notes as this one. Now, I can kind of see where they're coming from in the similarities because they do share quite a few notes. Purple, Dylan Purple has an extra bitter orange note, I believe. It does have freesia. I don't think it has the lily of the valley or the jasmine. And then I think it has some differences in the base as well. So I feel like sometimes, or here lately, we are saying too many things are dupes or assuming things are dupes when maybe they're just similar and they weren't even intentionally trying to be a dupe. So I'm not really going to call it a dupe. They are in the same sort of family. Also, God is a Woman, Ariana Grande, kind of similar there too, but I actually have been trying to pan one of my travels. I have 2 travels of that fragrance. One of them I just got a little bit left, so I've been wearing it every night to bed. So I'm very familiar with God is a Woman. That one has a really strong orris note in it, and it's also a bit sweeter and a bit thicker, almost even gourmandy smelling a little bit. Like the pear is almost kind of this gourmand orris pear scent, and I don't think the Habik is that either. So if you see people saying that they're dupes, I think that's stretching a little bit. I think this kind of stands on its own very nicely. It also has a slightly more earthiness, and I don't take that and say, oh, like this is an earthy fragrance. I wouldn't call this an earthy fragrance, but compared to the Dylan, there's something more going on in this. Whereas I feel like the Dylan is almost pretty linear in how it smells. This has more depth to it, I think. So I think it's very, very pretty. I think it's very elegant. Like I said, a really nice, inoffensive, daytime, appropriate kind of anywhere type of a fragrance. Probably best in summer and spring, but I do think you could get away with it kind of year round. It's one of those fragrances. So I'm really enjoying it, and I think the bottle's gorgeous. That is Habik by Lattafa. All right, next up we have the Maison Alhambra Rosa Lilium, Victoria Flower Rosa Lilium. And like I said, Jamie is the one that turned me on to this, and she raved about it because she said it was a, like, cannot distinguish any difference whatsoever to Flower Bomb Tiger Lily by Viktor and Rolf. So I do have the travel of that. And the amount of times I've almost purchased a full size of this fragrance, so many times. And what stopped me is for so long I could never find it discounted, or if it was discounted maybe $10 at the most. And I kept waiting for a really, really good deal on it. I have seen it much cheaper now, but then when she was raving about this so much, saying it was identical, I thought, well, let me go ahead and just grab this. And I have to say, she's right about it. I do think the first couple of minutes, at least of my bottle of the Maison Alhambra, had something kind of a little bit off-putting to me, like a almost indolic white floral just at the very, very top. And I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. But I think that's already gone, to be honest. I've had this for about a month now. And now when I'm spraying it, I'm not getting that. So I think I just needed to spray that. We say off the top, but it's really coming from the bottom. So I think it just needed to sit or get something off the bottom there. And now it's smelling amazing right out the gate. And it is such a beautiful tropical floral that I just picture having the flower in my hair, being on vacation. It does kind of make me think of Hawaii. I've got a nice, like, off the shoulder floral maxi dress. Maybe I've got a little straw hat. I don't really wear those, but I'm just picturing a lady that does. And I'm carrying my nice little tote bag, and I've got money and I'm gonna go sit and have this nice drink by a really beautiful, pristinely clean pool. That's the vibes that this fragrance gives to me. I think the coconut, I know some people are just like, whoa, the coconut's so overpowering in here. To me, it's balanced so well. I don't just smell this right away and just think it's a coconut bomb. I think it's so smoothly blended in. It's almost as if you took coconut and the tropical florals and blended it into a drink is what I get. But not just a coconut drink fruity, but with the actual flowers blended into this smooth drink that's in this really beautiful glass, and this very exquisitely dressed expensive lady is sipping on it. That's the vibes that this fragrance gives me. This also performs amazing. It really, really lasts hours and hours and hours. It projects really well. It thrives in the heat. I think it's so pretty. And I mean, Jamie's right. Like, yes, the bottle for this is really pretty. It's my favorite flanker for sure. A flower bomb. I'm not a fan of the OG. I used to be, but anymore. But I really, really love the bottle. But I think this bottle is really pretty too. And it's just so much cheaper. I think I got mine for around $20 off Joma shop, but I've seen it at other places too. I think even on Amazon. Have to be careful on Amazon. I hear they've been scamming some of these sellers on there lately. So I trust my Joma shop. That's where I got it. I think it is fantastic. So someone was talking about it. It was just Jamie, but I haven't seen really anybody else. All right. And the third one here is the Khadlaj Nafais Sharq. And this one, like I said, it was sent to me by Beauty House, and I do recommend purchasing from them. They have good prices as well. They're also very reliable. A lot of times I won't even realize too that I'm purchasing from them, and then like it'll be some other vendor, but then when I get the box, it says Beauty House. So they're very reputable. I definitely recommend them. But this bottle also gorgeous. I think it's so pretty. I love the gold flakes in there. It's very, very heavy. I love the kind of marbling, super pretty. Cap's also nice. This is one of those that also in the very, very beginning, my very first wear of this, I got this strange sort of pepperiness that I got in Lattafa Habik. So I've talked about that so many times about how that fragrance was so peppery. And I was like, where is this smooth coconut tropical thing that people talk about that fragrance? And after a year, that pepperiness finally went away and it smoothed out, and I really enjoy it. I was getting that same peppery thing in here, and I thought, oh no, like, I don't want that to be in here. After the first wear, it's gone. And now it is beautiful. This is one of the smoothest, and I have this like weird thing where I don't like this word, but I also think it's the most perfect descriptive word is creamy. I don't like saying it. It's like, bleh. It's just one of my words, like the M word, M-O-I-S-T. But anyway, this is the creamiest gardenia fragrance I think I've ever smelled. And gardenia sometimes to my nose goes a little bit like dank and dark. And I know it doesn't for a lot of people, and it can just kind of slightly bug me sometimes. It is so smooth in here. And I do also get a little bit of this apricot blossom. There's some pear and freesia. I think there is a little bit of vanilla in here. I think there's a bourbon vanilla. I wouldn't call it boozy or anything, but really to my nose, I get that smooth, creamy gardenia, almost like a cashmere woods, but I don't think that's a note in here, but it has this very smooth, almost silky suede-like slightly woodiness in the base. I think it's a little bit musky, but not too much. And it is sexy and it is feminine. And I think this one would be a fantastic date night scent. This is also to my nose, such a perfect transition summer to fall fragrance, because I do get a little bit of this kind of brightness, and that freesia gives a little bit of pep, and it has a little bit of that crisp apple going on in there. But then this kind of sexiness of the gardenia and this kind of slight silky woodiness in it makes it this fall kind of date night scent. But I do think it's also perfect day or night. And I already talked about this on my TikTok, but I said this is also a perfect example of a fragrance that works all year round, day or night. And not every fragrance does that, but I think it does it so well. And I am so glad it changed so quickly for me, because it is one of my most favorite recent fragrances. I think it is so beautiful. So that is Nafais Sharq by Khadlaj. But those are 3 fragrances that I really haven't seen a whole lot of hype about, haven't seen much chit chat, and I think that they deserve the hype. And then there's some out there that I don't really know why they're getting the hype. But those are my opinions about these 3. Let me know if you've happened to have tried these or if you're going to pick them up. I thank you so much for watching. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping, and smelling fabulous. Bye.